Everyone said the 150-pound Cane Corso was too dangerous to keep around a little girl, a black dog the size of a small bear with a head like an anvil and dark, unreadable eyes, the kind of animal people cross the street to avoid. When this couple refused to give him up, 50 different people told them they were risking their daughter's life. And then, on a night when their 5-year-old wandered out of bed at 3 a.m., sound asleep and walking straight toward the top of the stairs, the dog everyone had called a monster did the one thing that proved every single one of them wrong. This is the story of how the most feared dog on the whole street became the only reason a little girl is safe today. Kelsey and Aaron Delgado lived in a 2-story house in Frisco, Texas. Aaron worked long hours and Kelsey stayed home, and 2 years before their daughter was born, they had brought home a Cane Corso puppy, a clumsy, big-pawed black bundle who grew and grew and grew. They named him Vito. By the time he turned 2, Vito weighed 150 pounds, and he was, by every single measure, the gentlest creature either of them had ever known. But the world does not look at a Cane Corso and see gentle. When Kelsey got pregnant, the warnings came from every direction. "You cannot have a dog like that around a baby," her mother said. "That breed is a liability." A neighbor mailed them articles about big dogs and children with the frightening parts underlined. Aaron's own brother told him flatly that a 150-pound guard dog and a newborn under the same roof was a tragedy waiting to happen. 50 people, if you counted them all, told this couple to get rid of the dog before the baby came. But Kelsey had watched the way Vito had started sleeping against the door of the empty nursery weeks before there was ever a baby inside it, and she made her decision. Vito stays. I see you're still here but haven't subscribed yet. After what Vito is about to do for this little girl, you'll want to be part of it. Tap subscribe. It means more than you know. What none of them understood is that Vito had already decided the baby was his. From the day they brought little Evie home, that 150-pound Cane Corso appointed himself her shadow. And as she grew from a baby into a bright, chattering, fearless little girl, that never changed for a single day. Where Evie went, Vito went. When she learned to walk, he walked beside her like a guardrail. When she cried, he was there before her parents were. And at night, Vito lay across the doorway of her room, facing the hall, and would not settle until she was asleep. Evie, for her part, adored him with her whole heart. Every night before bed, she would take that enormous black head in her 2 small hands, press her forehead to his, and tell him goodnight, and tell him her secrets. And 150 pounds of Cane Corso would close his eyes and let her, the picture of patience. Vito had rules the whole family lived by. Evie did not go up or down the stairs without him 1 step below her, a guardrail on 4 legs. She did not fall asleep at night until Vito was in his place across her doorway. Aaron used to laugh that they did not own a dog so much as a very large, very serious babysitter who weighed 150 pounds. But outside that house, the fear never quite went away. At the park, parents pulled their children back when they saw a Cane Corso coming. A woman once asked Kelsey to her face whether she thought it was safe to keep a breed like that around a small child. Kelsey just smiled and kept walking because she knew something all of them did not. She knew that the single safest place in all of Frisco was wherever that dog had decided to lie down next to her daughter. And then, when Evie was 5, something new began. It started small. One morning, Kelsey found Evie standing in the kitchen at dawn, staring at nothing, fast asleep on her feet. Another night, she found her in the hallway, eyes open but unseeing, having a quiet conversation with no one. Evie had started sleepwalking, the way young children sometimes do, getting up in the deepest part of the night, sound asleep, and moving through the house with no idea she was doing it. The doctors said it was common and that she would likely grow out of it, and to keep the house safe and the doors locked. It happened a handful of times over a few weeks, always harmless, always strange. And each time, without fail, there was Vito, right at her side, having risen the instant she did, steering her gently back toward her bed. He never barked, never woke anyone. He just did his job in the dark and lay back down. What the doctor did not know, what Kelsey and Aaron themselves did not fully understand yet, was that every single time Evie got up in the night, so did Vito. Wherever that little girl drifted in her sleep, 150 pounds of Cane Corso rose from the doorway and followed her, silent and watchful, step for step, and stayed with her until she wandered back to bed. Vito had appointed himself the guardian of a danger no one had even named yet.
Kelsey would find them some mornings, Evie asleep in her bed and Vito lying on the floor beside it, and she thought he was just being sweet. She had no idea he was standing watch. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a little after 3 a.m. on a cold night in February. The whole house was dark and silent, and everyone was asleep when Evie sat up in bed, eyes open and empty, and got up. She walked out of her room, down the hall, sound asleep. But this time she did not drift toward the kitchen. This time, in the pitch dark, she walked straight toward the top of the staircase, the steep wooden staircase that dropped a full flight down to the hard tile floor of the entryway below. And she did not stop at the edge. The same dog the whole street had called dangerous, the same dog 50 people had begged them to get rid of, the same 150-pound Cane Corso every one of them had sworn would one day hurt that child, was already on his feet, already moving, and he got to the top of those stairs before she did. Vito planted his enormous body directly across the top of the staircase, a wall of 150 pounds between a sleepwalking little girl and a fall that could have broken her neck, and he would not move. Evie, still fast asleep, walked right into him and kept pushing, trying to go forward, and Vito held his ground, bracing against her, easing her back with the whole mass of his body, refusing to let her take a single step down into the dark. For a few endless seconds, it was just the two of them at the top of that staircase in the dark, a sleeping child determined to walk forward, and a 150-pound dog just as determined that she would not. And then he did the one thing he had never done at night in his life. He barked, a huge, booming, thunderous bark right there at the top of the stairs, again and again, loud enough to shake the walls.
Kelsey and Aaron came out of a dead sleep and ran into the hallway, hearts pounding, and in the glow of the nightlight, they saw it. Their 5-year-old daughter, sound asleep and swaying at the very top of the staircase, and their 150-pound Cane Corso wedged between her and the drop, holding her back with his body, barking his enormous head off to wake them before it was too late. Aaron scooped Evie up and she woke in his arms, confused and blinking with no memory of getting out of bed at all, no idea how close she had come. Kelsey sank to the floor and wrapped her arms around Vito, shaking because she understood with a certainty she will carry for the rest of her life that if she had listened to those 50 people, if she had gotten rid of the dog everyone feared, there would have been nothing at the top of those stairs that night but a sleepwalking child and a long way down. Instead, there had been Vito. The doctors confirmed what the parents already knew. A fall down a full flight of stairs onto tile for a child that age, head first and unable to catch herself because she was asleep, could have been catastrophic. The only reason it did not happen was the dog, who had made himself a wall. Word spread through the neighborhood the way news like that always does. The woman from the park who had called him dangerous left a card. Aaron's brother, who had said the dog was a tragedy waiting to happen, came over, looked at Vito a long moment, and quietly admitted he had been wrong. The story spread past that neighborhood the way these things do, and more than one family afraid of a dog like Vito wrote to say they had looked at their own gentle giant differently after hearing it. Because a sleepwalking child cannot save herself. She needs someone awake in the dark, watching, ready. And in that house, on that night, the one who was awake was the dog everyone had said to send away. Today, Vito is 4 years old, and Evie is 5, and there is a locked safety gate at the top of those stairs now. But there is also, every single night, a 150-pound Cane Corso lying across her doorway, on duty, following her into the dark whenever she rises. Because he understood, long before anyone else in that house did, that the smallest and most helpless moments are the most dangerous. She still takes his huge head in her hands every night and tells him her secrets. And the 50 people who swore they should get rid of him have all gone very quiet, because here is the simple truth every one of them missed. A dog is not dangerous because of his size or his breed or the heavy shape of his head. What makes a dog is who he decides to protect and exactly what he is willing to do to keep them safe. Vito decided on the very first day that a tiny girl was his, and when she walked toward the edge in her sleep, the breed everyone feared became the wall that would not let her fall. If you are thinking about bringing a big, powerful dog into a home with a child, please do not listen to the fear. Learn the breed,
Train with patience, supervise with love, and understand that the right dog raised the right way is not a danger to your child. Sometimes he is the guardian angel you never knew you needed, wearing a face the whole world taught you to fear. So let me ask you honestly, would you have trusted a 150-pound Cane Corso alone with your little girl at night, or would you have listened to those 50 people and let him go? Tell me in the comments.